The Blackhawks lost to Minnesota Wild 4-0 in Game 3 of the second round of the playoffs. Blackhawks got shut out for the fifth time this year. Blackhawks played bad in the third period. That's why they lost this game. The Blackhawks still have a 2-1 series lead. Hawks' next game is this Friday against the Minnesota Wild in Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs at 8:30 on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks lost to the Minnesota Wild 4-2 in Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs. The goal scorers were Patrick Sharp with his second goal of the playoffs. The final goal scorer was Michael Handzus with his first goal of the playoffs. The Blackhawks now are tied 2-2 in the series. The Hawks' next game is this Sunday against the Minnesota Wild in Game 5 of the second round of playoffs at 8 p.m. on CNBC. The Blackhawks won against the Minnesota Wild 2-1 in Game 5 of the second round of the playoffs. The goal scorers were Brian Bickle with his sixth goal of the playoffs. The last goal scorer was Jonathan Toews with his fifth goal of the playoffs. The Blackhawks take a 3-2 series lead. The Hawks' next game is this Tuesday against the Minnesota Wild in Game 6 of the second round of playoffs at 8 p.m. on CNBC. The Blackhawks won against the Minnesota Wild 2-1 in overtime in Game 6 of the second round of playoffs. The goal scorers were Christopher Stieg with his first goal of the playoffs. The final goal scorer, Patrick Kane, with the game winner in overtime. Sixth goal of the playoffs. The Blackhawks win the series 4-2 and advance to conference finals, where they will be facing either the LA Kings or the Anaheim Ducks. Go Hawks! The Blackhawks won against the LA Kings 3-1 in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Brandon Saad with his third goal of the playoffs. The next goal scorer was Duncan Keith with his third goal of the playoffs. The last goal scorer, Jonathan Toews with his sixth goal of the playoffs. Blackhawks take a 1-0 series lead. The Hawks' next game is this Wednesday against the LA Kings in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals at 7 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks lost to the LA Kings 6-2 in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Nick Leddy with his first goal of the playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer was Ben Smith with his second goal of the playoffs. The series is tied 1-1. The Hawks' next game is this Saturday against the LA Kings in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals at 7 p.m. on NBC. The Blackhawks lost to the LA Kings 4-3 in Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. The goal scorers were Jonathan Toews with his seventh goal of the playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer was Jonathan Toews, again with his eighth goal of the playoffs. Finally, the last goal scorer, Patrick Sharp, with his eighth goal of the playoffs. The LA Kings take a 2-1 series lead. The Hawks' next game is this Monday against the LA Kings in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals at 8 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks lost to the LA Kings 5-2 in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Brandon Saad with his fourth goal of the playoffs. The last goal scorer was Brian Bickle with his seventh goal of the playoffs. The LA Kings take a 3-1 series lead. The Hawks' next game is this Wednesday against the LA Kings in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals at 7 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks won against the LA Kings 5-4 in double overtime in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Brent Seabrook with his third goal of the playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer, Jael Duya, with his second goal of the playoffs. The next goal scorer, Brandon Saad, with his fifth goal of the playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer, Ben Smith, with his third goal of the playoffs. Finally, the last goal scorer, Michael Handzus, with a game winner. That's Michael Handzus' second goal of the playoffs. The LA Kings still have a 3-2 series lead. The Hawks' next game is this Friday against the LA Kings in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals at 8 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks won against the LA Kings 4-3 in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Patrick Kane with his seventh goal of the playoffs. Next goal scorer, Ben Smith with his fourth goal of the playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer, Duncan Keith, with his 4th goal of playoffs. But finally, the last goal scorer, Patrick Kane, with his 8th goal of playoffs. The series is tied 3-3. The Hawks' next game is this Sunday against the LA Kings in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals at 7 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. The Blackhawks lost to LA Kings in overtime 5-4 in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. The goal scorers were Brian Saad with his 6th goal of playoffs. The next Hawks goal scorer, Jonathan Tage, with his 8th goal of playoffs. The Hawks' next goal scorer, Patrick Sharp, with his 4th goal of playoffs. Finally, the last goal scorer, Patrick Sharp, again with his 5th goal of playoffs. Well, the Hawks are out of the playoffs. The Hawks had a great season, and hopefully they can win the Stanley Cup next year. Well, that's the end of the Hawks podcast. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Have a great day.